They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan Pants don't...
Yeah, what up YouTube? It's your boy Zah back at you real quick. But anyways, man, I know it's been a while since I put a video up, but it's simply for the fact, well, it is for the simple fact that a lot of things have been taking place as far as like me working and trying to get an even better job, and the fact that my kids, you know, now this is pretty much their domain where they do all their work. You know, when you're dealing with a 6-year-old and then you're dealing with somebody in college, it's kind of like you have to take a back seat. If you know, it's just you have to take a back seat. It's not like you can put your selfish needs before those of your kids. I mean, I've did it before, but you know, this is different. You know, you grow up after a while, so you start to learn that you're just not, that the world doesn't necessarily revolve around you. And even at this age, I'm slowly learning that. But it's crazy because like I haven't really been on YouTube. I kind of got bored of it, you know what I mean? I mean, at first when I first started YouTube, it was popping and it was unexpected. People gravitated to the channel. You had a lot of good, you had a lot of negative, and then you had some of those that were in between, didn't really know what to expect of you because you were something new. As far as like, some people act like they've never seen somebody of my nature, but which that could be true, but I'm not unique at all. But that's besides the point. What I really wanted to get into is, I said, I figure if I'm going to come back to YouTube, I'm going to come back with a tidbit of something that's a little bit more spicy. I had a conversation with one of the homies not that long ago, and it's something that's been going on for like over maybe 3 or 4 months. Same individual constantly contacting me, talking about the same thing. And it's crazy. Like, if you can tell by the title of the video, this particular individual has not only got ran out of North Carolina, he got ran out of Florida, went to Denver, and then got ran out of Denver and all due to the fact of his affiliation. And if you don't understand what his affiliation was, he was in fact a 2-5er. And it's funny, when the dude first got at me, he was basically telling me why he was mad at the fact that I somehow got him ran out of these particular cities. But, you know, we'll just say allegedly, he said the GDs ran him out of North Carolina or Carolina. I think he said North Carolina. I know it's one of the Carolinas he had got ran out. And I had talked to somebody a while ago that was in fact a disciple from out that way, but I don't know him that well. We just had a brief little conversation. But as far as like me really being able to move anybody out of any particular state as if I had some type of influence, you know, it's not on us to really entertain anything they say, because once you say 2-5, basically, you know, for the masses, know that they're irrelevant. Don't give them no energy. In the past, I've given them energy because I wanted to see what time it was, you know what I mean? But that's a male ego, and as far as, you know, but that's besides the point. This individual was so mad and so up in arms at the fact that I have somehow uprooted where he's lived multiple times due to the fact that my videos have caused him grievance. And it's crazy because, you know, when I, you know, typed back and was telling him, like, how is it that I could cause you grievance when you're in fact the one that chose to go out backwards? And not only go out backwards, you chose to not change your life, but you chose to get into a prison gang that was the exact opposite. And in fact, they consider themselves enemies, you know what I mean? Of course, they got all types of videos on it for the people that don't know what a 2-5er is. And it's crazy because one 2-5 in particular, I never, you know, not never, but I just haven't got at this dude. I don't say nothing about him, don't mention him. And that's just due to the fact that he became old news. Now, people used to say, oh yeah, this dude, you know, you use certain cast names, but I don't have to call out no names in order to give people a general idea who I'm talking about. But this individual, I don't know who he is, but the last few messages, he said something that, you know, basically he got a big interview coming up with one of these 2-5ers. And to be honest, I just lost track of exactly who's good and who's not good. To me, I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, they do absolutely nothing. They're just inferior man. Well, I can't even call them man because they're inferior. Because if they were anything else, they would have just either stayed out of jail or they just would have changed their life around and chose not to get into another prison gang. You know what I mean? And to be honest, a lot of the cats went that route because they could never be nothing on the main line anyway. You know, a lot of them are the type that tried to be something and got shut down because at the end of the day, people can see your heart. And these individuals in particular, you know, a lot of people see their heart. I mean, you don't have to see their heart, basically. You know, it spoke for itself. I don't care what type of opposition you face. Before that, you always hear, I'm a killer, I do this, I don't care, I give my life for it. Well, you had your chance to give your life for it and you chose not to, so you proved us wrong. I mean, no, actually you didn't prove it wrong, but everything you said, your action betrayed your emotions, or your emotion betrayed your actions, whatever, you basically get the general idea. But this individual, you know, he hasn't got at me like in the last 2 or 3 days, but I did have a conversation with the homie Ravi, you know what I mean? If simple for the fact that he, you know, not only transitions from here in Denver, you know what I mean? He's like, got homies all over, but, and that's not to say he had anything to do with it, but I would just let him know after that, after he made the 2-5 song, it seemed like a lot of people were up in arms at the fact that he just, I don't know if they felt like he exposed them or maybe I exposed them or any homie that's on here talking about 2-5s exposed them. But at the end of the day, you exposed yourself. And I told this individual he actually wanted to come on my channel and speak about what it is to be a 2-5 and, you know, where he may have went wrong and his grievances against his own group. But at the end of the day, he got the door slammed in his face because I don't fuck with them at all. Like, if you're a 2-5, you're a PC, you trash, I don't want to interview you. And to be honest, I really don't interview too many people on my channel anyway, so I'm really not interested in interviewing an individual that couldn't, you know, hold his own. It's like you can't really say that you know, you grab your, you know, your werewolves and you're out there really handling your, you know, you're as a man because you didn't, you folded. And then the funny thing is these same individuals on the street trying to do the same thing they did that got them incarcerated. So it's kind of like I'm baffled by that fact. But this individual, man, I'm just going to leave it pretty much at that. But it's like I told this individual, you sowed the own seed of your destruction. At the end of the day, you wasn't right with yourself. You weren't right with what you originally started with. So that's pretty much what doomed you. You had the chance to ride out your sentence or whatever sentence he may have had and kept your life straight, but you chose to go backwards. So now you must suffer the consequence. Now as far, I'm going to put this out there for the individual that continuously gets at me, because I think this dude just watches every video I put out. I had nothing to do with you getting ran out of Carolina. I don't have reach like that. Wouldn't proclaim to have reach like that. And you're just not that freaking important. And for one, I don't even know who you are. You're just a random cat on IG talking about how you done got ran out of 3 different cities. Now as far as Florida, I really don't have no reach there. I have family there, but I don't know nobody that's gonna go push the line on the behalf of the Double S. So I can't really help you on that. Now as far as Denver, you should know that they got homies out there anyway. So if you got any 2-5 tattoos on you and you ain't from Harpies, 9 out of 10, you already know what time it is. You know what I mean? And that's sad. That's the moral of this shit is, it doesn't just affect him. It affect the fact that he had his family and he was trying to settle down. And he had to not only be uprooted, his family was uprooted with him. And that's the consequence of a lot of individuals' actions. And that's why I always come on these videos and try to tell people, like, if you can avoid going that route, avoid going that route. Because at the end of the day, if you can't hack it, and you never know what type of individual you are. I don't care how down you are. I never seen the hardest and the fools that do the most stickings go out backwards. It don't matter who you are. Everybody can slip up. Trust me. One mistake can cost you the rest of your life, or might cost you your life. But I tell individuals, you have your choice. If you're banging, you want to continue banging, go on about it. Do your business. I'm not here to be the negative or the positive. I'm here to be real, exactly how I've always been. But these 2-5s, like, I don't get it, because you had a chance to, you PC'd up, and let's just play devil's advocate. You PC'd up to save your life, but you went over there and gave your life to something else. Now you can tell me all this, we don't program with Chesters, but we know that there's Chesters on that yard, and I don't care if you violate them and take their money and anything of that nature. They're still on that yard, and on the main line they cannot be there. But this is just me, telling you a little funny story about what I go through on a daily, because to be honest, this cat was probably the funniest that I've had in a long time. But there's a lot of other, colorful individuals like to come and ask me to come on my channel. But this is so far the only one that has really blamed me for ruining his life, which is kind of funny, because how can I ruin your life when you chose to do what you did? Moral of the story is, kids, gentlemen, gals, whatever, don't get incarcerated. Handle your business, do what you gotta do, and you won't suffer them consequences. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of cats that's gonna go out backwards because they ain't built with that. They ain't built from the same stock that a lot of individuals have been through, that have. And then the game is dirty, A lot of times they say it's stacked against you. When you walk in there, people are already on wolf mode, and if you don't become a wolf yourself, you might end up getting chewed up and spit out. But that's beside the point, man. It's just one of those videos, I do got a few other videos coming up, but like I said, YouTube bores me now. And to be honest, I'm not making really anything off of YouTube no more. It's one of those things that I just get on here to, voice my opinion, and I disappear into the shadow again. But yeah, hopefully this guy doesn't get at me no more. But if you hear a cat on one of these PC channel and he starts talking about how he got ran out of, I think, North Carolina, Florida, and Denver, 3 fucking states, due to his affiliation, that means people pay attention. And yeah, we might have been the spark that lit it up, but we have no control over whether a gangster disciple chooses to make you leave a city. You could say no and go against it, but honestly, you have no backing, because I don't think your camaradas are gonna reach out and try to go get any of that. No, I just don't think it. But if it was, allegedly the GD, shout out to you, man. Keep running the trash out of town. Florida, for that, shout out to you. And Denver, as always, shout out to you. And to all the camaradas out there, you enjoy the rest of your night. And, I'm going to try to stray away from this prison. But, every once around, these suckers bring me back in. On that note, I'm out.
Kneel before Zod!